A few years back, we started our show to help others interested in exploring the Pacific Northwest and eventually the rest of the world.
Inspired by the spirit of the Negro Motorist Green Book, we wanted to be a valuable resource to Black and BIPOC travelers while connecting them to some of the most amazing places.
What's unique about our show is not only do we showcase spectacular destinations, but we also rate our experiences for how comfortable we felt visiting as Black travelers.
In every episode right here, we will show you some of those destinations as well as their comfort rating. I'm Anthony Love.
And I'm Marlie Love. Come along with us on
Traveling While Black.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Traveling While Black. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Marlie, and we're so excited to introduce you to some hidden gem cities you may have never heard of before.
See, we lived in Washington State since 2019, and before we moved here, we had never heard the term themed towns.
And that's right, or the term new urbanism.
But beautiful people, after this episode, you'll know those terms and the towns in Washington that represent them.
That's because we're taking you to 3 Washington cities that make it seem like you traveled to Bavaria, the Wild West, or even the Truman Show.
Those cities are Leavenworth, Winthrop, and Seabrook. And of course, we're going to let you know how comfortable it is for a Black traveler visiting each of these towns.
And if you're new here, on each episode, we provide you with a travel tip and show you where some others are traveling while Black. So let's get into this week's episode.
From our country's early beginnings, us Americans have always been partial to a good gimmick. From the traveling snake salesman of the early 19th century to the pet rock craze of the 1970s.
Having an attraction to a simple gimmick is not at all a bad thing. Not only do they have the ability to inspire joy, but they also can have real-world impact, such as promoting environmental sustainability.
From towns that take visitors back into time to a community concept designed to help the environment. In this episode, we're going to be taking you to a few Washington cities that uniquely employ gimmicks to attract visitors and even permanent residents.
But first, we must introduce 2 important terms that help understand these so-called gimmick towns. Those terms are themed towns and new urbanism communities. Let's start with the term themed towns.
Themed towns are towns that have unique themes. Pretty simple, right? Most of these towns in the United States got their inspiration from the granddaddy of all themed towns, Slovain, California.
Slovain, California was originally founded in 1911 by Danish settlers. Up until 1940, it looked like most sleepy Southern California towns. That was until Ferdinand Sorensen decided he wanted to honor his Danish roots and design his home in the form of Danish architecture.
Ferdinand didn't stop there. He went on to build the first of what would be 4 of the town's Danish-style windmills. Soon others followed suit, and by the mid-1940s, the community has shifted to full Danish theme.
The switch to full Danish not only resulted in the city being dubbed the Danish capital of America, but also a healthy injection into the local economy thanks to the over 1 million visitors that are attracted to the town annually.
The monetary benefits of Slovain was most likely a big motivation for the 2 Washington towns we will cover within this episode. But there is a more noble motivation for the next gimmick or concept term, new urbanism.
According to Wikipedia, new urbanism is when cities are designed to be walkable and environmentally friendly neighborhoods. The concept that started back in the 1970s has stretched all across the United States.
Possibly the most known new urbanism city is the city of Seaside, Florida, a picturesque new urbanism gem where pastel-colored cottages, walkable streets, and vibrant public spaces create a perfect blend of small-town charm and modern community living. And it's also where the movie The Truman Show was filmed.
The founder of Seaside, Florida also created 2 other new urbanism communities. We've never been to any of those cities, but we did visit a community in Washington that was created in the new urbanism concept. You will see our experience there later in the episode.
Yes, 2 themed towns and 1 new urbanism community, all located in Washington State. And we can't wait to show you more of the towns of Winthrop, Leavenworth, and Seabrook.
So be honest, before this episode, have you heard of Slovain, California? And don't be ashamed if you answered no, because truthfully, we had never heard of Slovain before moving to Washington and visiting one of these themed towns.
Same in regard to Seaside, Florida, even though I technically seen it when watching The Truman Show back in the day. Anyway, we're going to show you the Washington version of these within this episode.
First, starting with the town of Winthrop, Washington, a town designed to fashion an old Western town. We first found out that there was such a town only 4 hours from us in Seattle. We knew we had to go see what it was all about.
And as you will see within the segment, we also got to experience some other cool, lesser-known towns nearby, all located within the area known as Okanagan Country. Also, don't judge us on our take for the idea on how the town of Winthrop came about. Just take a look.
Northeast of the Cascades sits the largest county in the state, Okanagan County, but locals prefer to call it Okanagan Country.
The reference to the country likely speaks to its size, but could also speak to its year-round great access to nature and the outdoors, even in the winter when the area is popular with skiers looking to leverage the continent's largest network of cross-country ski trails. What makes Winthrop a tourist destination? Well, it's that the town is fashioned as an old Western town.
That's right, all of the buildings located within the town are throwback builds of old Western buildings. But this hasn't always been this way.
Listen up, listen up, listen up. As you know, they're about to build that new Cascade Highway and it's gonna go right straight through here. That means there's gonna be a lot more people coming through here. More people?
Oh no. Oh
No!
no. Pass throughs at that.
Now listen, I know with the bad also comes good. For example, more people means more money for this town.
But we gotta get them to stop. How we gonna do that? I got it. Let's make the buildings in our town theme, just like Leavenworth.
Yeah!
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah! Good idea. But what theme?
How about a cowboy western theme? Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah! Let's make it happen.
Yep, that's probably how it happened.
So after many recommendations, we took a trip to Winthrop to experience the Okanagan country. So to see if outside the Western themed town, if there was anything else fun to do within the county overall.
The ride up made it clear why Okanagan Country was popular for outdoor activities. Now, we were ready to see what else the area had to offer.
We chose to stay in Winthrop at a really chill hotel named Mount Gardner Inn, which was a great choice. Great rooms and an even easy check-in process. The family-ran hotel is actually considered one of the top places to stay within the town.
Booking our room at Mount Gardner checked the box for a place to lay our heads, but since we would be staying in a town fashioned as an old Western town, we better start acting as such. First, we needed to address having appropriate cowboy and cowgirl transportation, horses.
But even before that, we needed to learn how to ride. So to fix that, we went to JD Outfitters, a local business that offers horseback rides throughout the Metro Valley for riders of all ages and skill levels.
Most importantly for us was that the ride includes a quick riding lesson. So we met up with the owner, Red, and after a quick safety lesson and a little time in the pen, we transformed into a bona fide cowboy and cowgirl.
After our visit with Red, we were ready to hit the dusty trail and experience Okanagan country. First, we reckoned we better rustle up some grub, so we moseyed over to Methow Valley Cider House right there in Winthrop.
Methow Valley Cider House is a locally family-owned joint that offers mighty fine tasting cider, wine, craft beer on tap, along with fixings that make for good eating.
And when the weather warms up, Methow Valley Cider House is a mighty fine place for shows and a lot more fun in their backyard amphitheater space.
After having our fill, we mounted our horses and moseyed up to... Okay, I think y'all get the point. So after the great breakfast, we were ready for the next spot.
We figured a great way to learn about Okanagan country was to learn about its history, so we headed to the Okanagan County town of Twisp to experience the Methow Valley Interpretive Center.
Located on the Twisp Works campus, the Methow Valley Interpretive Center is a no-cost, interactive museum that educates on and connects visitors to the history of the Methow Valley, the whole history, really focusing in on as well the indigenous peoples who first inhabited the area.
The exhibits in the center were designed working with the local Methow peoples, and a lot of the artifacts were donated from them and other local tribal peoples as well. We really enjoyed the Methow Valley Interpretive Center, both inside and outside.
The Methow Valley Interpretive Center is free to experience, but donations are appreciated, and that is really what enables them to continue their mission, so we definitely encourage everyone to donate.
After getting educated on the history of Okinawan country, we wanted to hang out with some of the local people. What a better place to start than the Method Valley Farmers Market and Twisp.
The Farmers Market, which starts the second Saturday in April and runs through October, takes place in the parking area of the Method Valley Community Center. When we got there, the first thing we did was hop in line for Orchard House Donuts to try their popular donuts.
Yes, they were highly recommended and did not disappoint. Then we walked around the farmers market.
Bought some local honey because why not?
And talked to a couple people. That's how we found out that Okinawan County was having their annual Earth Day celebration. So we headed over to the Dorm Ranch in Twisp to hang out with Okinawan locals at an Okinawan country event.
The event was actually pretty dope. There was food trucks, games, educational and vendor booths, drinks, and even live music. The event actually is a fundraiser whose proceeds go to support Methow Recycles program.
We grabbed some food, also a couple of adult beverages, grabbed a spot amongst the locals, and laid back and took in the entertainment. From the poem-writing cowboy to the popular local band singing Okinawan-inspired songs. We actually had a great time.
On top of that, the locals made it easy to blend in like we were locals. After the unexpected awesome time amongst the good people at the Earth Day celebration, we were ready for another meal.
On par for the Western theme, we decided on dinner at a barbecue joint, 1908 Bourbon and Barbecue in Twisp. This is a locally owned restaurant and their food is amazing.
Yes, some of the best barbecue we had since moving to this state, and no surprise because the chef revealed that their ribs are St. Louis inspired. Respect. Look, full disclosure, we had a few good meals within Okanagan country.
Yes, from an unbelievably delicious world-class brunch at the dining room within Sun Mountain Lodge to a great burger at the on-brand for Winthrop Old School House Brewery.
Even the pastries at Sweet River Bakery in the town of Patros were delicious. Yes, the food, the people, we even rode horses, beautiful people. Yes, we had a great all-around time.
Yes, and not just walking through the old western town in Winthrop, but hanging out throughout all the towns we got to experience within the county.
Since we only got to experience but a couple of towns this time out, we will definitely need to come back to experience even more and even some of the outdoor activities, especially when State Route 20 reopens.
We definitely answered any questions we had in regards to actual fun in Winthrop and Okinawan County overall.
So, partner, what did you think of Winthrop, Washington? As you saw, it definitely got us in the cowboy movie.
Yes, we loved our time there and in Okanagan country in general. And we did make it back to the SR20 route.
We will show you all that experience right here on one of the episodes in the future. But remember, you can always see it now on our YouTube channel at Traveling While Black.
But after the break, we'll give you one of our TWB travel tips, as well as dive into one of our experiences in the Washington town built for new urbanism.
And later on, we will be sharing the pictures sent in of some of you traveling while black. And of course, giving the comfort ratings for our experiences in all of the towns shown within the episode. See you soon.
It's time for TWB's Travel Flex, where we share a travel tip each week to level up your travel game. In today's tip, pack your own sheets.
Yep, you heard him right. When we hit the road, we bring our own sheets. It might sound extra, but honestly, nothing beats the peace of mind knowing you're sleeping on your own clean sheets.
And don't stop there. Pillowcases too. Sure, Marlie's a bit of a germaphobe, but it's also about sustainability. Bringing your own can help reduce the energy and water used for laundry.
See, my germophobia has been a win. So that's been this episode's TWB Travel Flex. Keep it clean and sustainable.
Welcome back. Now that we showed you one of our theme towns in Washington, let us show you one of the communities designed based on new urbanism.
What's interesting for us in the concept of new urbanism was that even though the term was new to us when we moved to Washington, in fact, we had experienced a town designed in the concept back when we lived in Missouri, Newtown.
Still, that could prepare us for the experience in Washington's new urbanism town, Seabrook. So take a look.
Located in Grays Harbor County, right along the Washington coastline, sits the picturesque beach town of Seabrook.
We can't lie, the town gives off Truman Show vibes, but that is because Seabrook actually has somewhat of a connection to the movie.
In 2004, fresh off the success of their very first beach community on the coast of Oregon, Casey and Laura Roloff founded the town of Seabrook up north on the Washington coast.
The Roloffs were heavily inspired by the concept of new urbanism, an urban design movement that promotes environmentally friendly habits by creating walkable neighborhoods containing a wide range of housing and job types.
The concept arose in the 1980s and has inspired more than 600 communities in the United States today, and Seabrook was heavily influenced by one of the more popular ones, Seaside, Florida.
Yep, the Seaside, Florida, which also happens to be the filming location of the movie, The Truman Show. And one of the reasons we were excited to be taking our very first trip to the environmentally conscious built beach town.
Plus, we'd be going on a perfect fall weekend because the town would be hosting the annual Bigfoot Brewfest. Add in great weather, and it couldn't be any better.
When we entered Seabrook, our thought right away was that the reality definitely lived up to the pictures.
To learn more about the community, we took part in the guided tour led by people behind designing the town.
On our tour, we got to learn about the town, which includes 18 parks, a throwback-looking town hall, a Montessori-inspired public school, and countless storefronts that include a brand new 13,000 square foot gourmet grocery store.
Along with all the awesome amenities, the community has over 500 houses in 8 different neighborhoods, 250 of which are a part of the Seabrook Vacation Rentals program, like the amazing place we stayed at.
Yep, all of these things are great about the community. But the question to be answered was, can you have fun here?
Because of its location, the community has a lot of options for outdoor enthusiasts, especially surfing with the access to perfect surfing waves.
For us, we did enjoy some beach time, but we were really interested in checking out the 9th annual Bigfoot Brewfest, which is a celebration of quality craft beer, ciders, and other brews from around the Pacific Northwest.
The event took place in the middle of the town and featured a variety of beer, wine and cider vendors, food trucks, games that included a cornhole tournament, and live music. It was a pretty festive time.
Yeah, Brewfest was a lot of fun. We even saw a legendary Pacific Northwest figure that the fest was named for. But to tell the truth, some of the most fun we had during our time in Seabrook was just hanging out on the beach, walking around the town, and enjoying our rental property.
Yes, our time there felt like we weren't rushed at all, and it truly felt like a vacation getaway. It almost felt like a home away from home.
Wow, the thing that really stands out when I'm thinking about Seabrook was just how cute it was. I wouldn't mind a trip back soon.
Anniversary, birthday, Valentine's Day, gift idea for Marlie. Surprise Seabrook getaway.
Okay, anyway, when we return, we'll show you the Washington town that's possibly the most popular of all the themed towns in the state, Leavenworth.
And of course, you don't want to miss our comfort ratings for all the towns, and we'll see you right after the break.
Welcome back. Our encounter with this next theme town was early on in our Washington residency, and also was one of our first episodes on our YouTube channel. That's because it did not take long for us to hear all about it.
Yes, we first made a visit attracted by its Christmas Town moniker, but then returned attracted by the prospect of other activities that we could be enjoying around the town. And we'll give you a little more insight behind the story of the town's transition to a Bavarian design. And don't worry, we don't reenact that version of the events, just facts.
But I think our version would have been a lot cooler.
Take a look at our experience in Leavenworth, Washington.
We were first introduced to Leavenworth via its fame as a Christmas town, and we would always visit after Thanksgiving when it would transform into what the town self-proclaims as a village of lights.
This year, though, we had taken the trip before all of that, to see what the town is like outside of the Christmas season. Obviously, the Bavarian theme of the town will be the same. In fact, how and why that came to be is an interesting story.
By the 1960s, the once booming town of Leavenworth, Washington was struggling to bounce back from the railroad relocation and lumber mill closing. Luckily for the town, 2 Seattle businessmen, Ted Price and Bob Rogers, were determined to figure out a solution.
Thinking of Slovane, California, a town that modeled its town to be Danish-themed, the pair was inspired to replicate the same strategy by using marketing to revive the city. Their idea was to transform the town into a Bavarian-themed town because that specific European style would better suit its mountain location.
Wait! You mean there's no real Bavarian connection?
Nope.
While it took some convincing of the other townsfolk,
They had to put up their own cash first.
eventually they were successful. But for this visit, we were there to find out what is Leavenworth outside of its Bavarian design.
We were back in Leavenworth, and of course we knew about the fun restaurants and shops on the Bavarian-style Front Street, but this time, we wanted to learn more about the town outside of that.
The first thing we learned about Leavenworth this time is how great the lodging options are, since we chose to stay overnight on this trip. The place we chose was the beautiful Sleeping Lady Mountain Resort. In order to learn more about the town, we couldn't think of any better way than taking a bike tour. Oh yeah, there's even a better way, an e-bike tour. So we booked with Bavarian e-bike tours to go on their Leavenworth Mountain View tour, and it was awesome. The tour is around 2.5 hours and takes riders about 16 miles experiencing the beautiful scenery and learning about some of the town's history and landmark locations.
Don't let the 16 miles scare you. The e-bike makes it almost effortless. One of the really cool things we liked about the tour is that you are led by an expert. Jennifer was our expert guide. In the beginning, they assist you in fitting the provided safety gear and give you an in-depth tutorial on how to use the e-bikes. Plus, it was nice not having to rely on our fuzzy memory of biking hand signals.
Another really cool thing we loved about the tour is how we would occasionally stop to take pictures, soak in the scenery, and catch a rest if needed. We really enjoyed our time and we got to learn a lot about the town of Leavenworth.
Especially some of its history, like the historic ski jump, which opened in 1929 and was the town's first attempt at using tourism as an injection to the local economy. Yep, we had a lot of fun and definitely recommend checking out one of Bavarian e-bike tours.
We can say that this experience in Leavenworth, we had a lot of fun overall, even without the Christmas themes.
A good time in the winter, during Christmas, as well as a good time in the fall. We better still check it out in the spring just to be sure.
All in all, we can say that we definitely had a great experience based on this time.
Don't you see why I say Leavenworth is just the cutest town?
And don't you see why I say it would have been a lot cooler if we gave our take on the town's origin story?
You probably don't. But still, Leavenworth, along with Winthrop and Seabrook, are all really unique towns. They have so much more to offer than the gimmicks that inspired their creation.
In all seriousness, we hope you enjoy learning more about these gimmicky towns in Washington. And if you do decide to check them out one day, reach out and let us know what you think.
And now that we've told you all about these unique towns and shown you our experiences, the only thing left is for our Black Comfort travel rating for all 3 of those towns.
Here we go. It's time for one of the most important elements of our show, our comfortability for Black people rating.
All the towns within this episode once again were rated against our old 5-point scale, but don't worry, we'll be introducing some ratings against our newer scale sooner than later.
Yeah, but for now, let us tell you what we got. Once again, starting with Winthrop and Okanagan Country. Our experience on our last visit to the town was similar to the visits before. We felt welcome and comfortable.
What really stood out to us on our visit to Okanagan County was that even with all the small towns, they seemed to function as the same community, and we were made to feel like we were welcome to be a part of that community.
And believe it or not, beautiful people, we even met a local viewer. Yes, we will definitely continue coming back, but as for the last trip and experience in the Okanagan Country, towns of Patrios, Twist, and Winthrop, we gave a 5 out of 5 for comfortability for Black people.
Yes, Winthrop felt like home away from home, but how was our experience in Seabrook? It was interesting. See, while the amenities in the community were nice, there was a noticeable lack of diversity.
This shouldn't be a surprise, as the town has been compared to the movie The Stepford Wives. And spoiler alert, there aren't any Black people in that movie.
Even though the lack of diversity was noticeable, we did see a few other Black people, and that did make us feel a lot more comfortable. And on top of that, the establishments and people we encountered within the town and around the town were friendly.
Yes, the overall friendliness and welcome feeling from the town and seeing 4 other Black people made us feel a lot better. But what really made it comfortable was the unbelievable access to nature. Because, as you know, nature loves Black people.
Yes, we cannot stress enough just how peaceful and relaxing it was just to sit on the beach, and then after we were done, walking up the hill to the town where we could walk to a restaurant or grocery store and then walk home. It was awesome.
Ultimately, we can still recommend checking out Seabrook because we gave a 4 out of 5 for comfortability for Black people. Finally, our experience in Leavenworth.
Like Winthrop, we've been to Leavenworth multiple times before, and each time we can say the same. But our last visit being outside of the joyful Christmas season is really what validated our good luck with the town.
Full disclosure, even though the people and establishments we encountered were still welcoming, we have to say that a large part of that comfort could have possibly come from our stay at the Sleeping Lady.
The Sleeping Lady encourages guests to get out and experience nature. In fact, the Sleeping Lady's founder, Harriet Boulette, made it part of her mission to connect all people to nature.
All in all, a great experience. So for our last visit, just like the visits before, we gave Leavenworth a 5 out of 5 for comfortability for Black people.
Yes, once again, we were able to have comfortable experiences in places where there doesn't seem to be a lot of diverse faces.
Yep, once again, all great examples of the reason why we do our show. If any of you check any of these out, be sure to let us know what your experience was compared to our new rating scale.
Yes, we always want to hear from you, but until then and always after that, safe travels.
Well, should you be surprised? Once again, the destinations within the episode are all great options for Black travelers looking for unique experiences and really demonstrate how we strive to find these places and share them with all of you.
Yeah, something we really take pride in. And we do want to say that eventually there will be more shows and destinations rated against our newcomer skill. And when we do, you'll see more of the context behind how it really goes into a destination getting the score that they do.
But for now, it's the part in our show that we really get joy in, and that's seeing the pictures sent in of you traveling while Black.
Our pictures this episode come from Chandra sparkling in the Isle of Palms.
And also Tristan, aka DJ Twilight, getting his Indiana Jones on in Cairo.
And don't forget, be sure to send us pictures of you traveling while Black.
Yes, we really do enjoy seeing those pictures of yourself traveling while Black, and we hope you enjoy seeing them as well.
And we really enjoy showing you all some of these unique gimmick towns of Washington State, from the Western and Bavarian-themed towns to the environmentally conscious new urbanism community.
Yes, and like we said, 2 of those towns we made multiple visits to, so remember, you can see all that and more of our adventures on our YouTube channel at Traveling While Black. And if you go there, be sure to subscribe.
And also, don't forget to follow us on our other social platforms. On Instagram, at TravelWhileBLK, and TikTok, at TravelingWhileBLK.
And finally, we do want to mention our website as another option of getting caught up on everything CWB, because it's a great way to reach out to us, and you can also submit your pictures of yourself traveling while Black there.
Yep, do be sure to check out our website. There we have a lot of useful resources, because ultimately, that's what we strive to be. But that's all for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you come back next time. But until then, beautiful people, stay up, stay true, and do you.